Hey everyone, this is Jamie. Um, I wanted to talk about a sort of an interesting topic, as you can see from the title. I wanted to focus specifically on sexuality rather than on being trans, which, when it comes to childhood, a lot of people seem to, if you're trans, they focus on more trans issues. And then you kind of go back and you look at your childhood through a trans lens, whether you are trans, whether you weren't trans, whether you had signs of being trans. And today I wanted to approach it through the sexuality sort of like lens. So, and also, before everything, I want to say that I did not forget about James Charles and he deserves to be in jail. And now we can proceed with the video. And also, I'm glowing because I actually put a lot of highlighter on me. It's not sweat. Anyway, so I was really thinking about my childhood before I started this video, but in general, I've been kind of in a depressive mood and I've been kind of over all the trans issues which I've been facing. So it's kind of nicer to look on sexuality for once. Um, I was always attracted to guys besides a few moments in my life where I was uh, drawn to closer friends, but I did have women hit on me or girls at the time. Obviously, when I was underage. And I just did not feel the same way. I did not feel comfortable, and I just wasn't about it. And so I kind of, looking back, I always saw that, I felt more interested in male dynamics, and in general, I perceived myself as a guy. I was attracted to men, and I just wanted something to work out in that pattern. But obviously, at the time, I did not know about trans guys. I did not know about gay trans guys. And I remember that it took a while for me to get everything to click in my head. And right now, that's why it's so painful because it's been already a long while. And my name change has not changed yet. So that is really getting on my nerves and kind of dragging all of me down. So I'm sorry this video is a bit scattered, but I'll really try to focus. And when it comes to such things, I wanted to say that I did have a sort of strict upbringing where I was made sure that I was very, very feminine. Because, obviously, my parents, and specifically one of my parent figures, really wanted to have a girl, and my mom, okay, fine, let's just throw it out, was kind of very convinced that she would have a girl, and she proceeded to even, like, before I was born, I was already chosen a name, which is my dead name, and it just, she would talk to the baby bump with the name and etc. Ironically, that did not stick, but for instance, the fact that she watched Twin Peaks stuck, and I really enjoyed David Lynch's work, so I don't know what sticks, what does not stick. But regardless, I really liked the color pink growing up, right? So, it's kind of one of those things where if I were a cis gay guy, then people would say, oh, that's easy, then you're probably gay. And in my case, that's why some people were confused when they came out, because I like sort of like femme stuff without taking my sexuality, which is gay, into the equation. And at the same time, as time went on, the more I found myself drawn to different masculine activities, like liking football, um, being interested in different male hobbies. I was really into art as well. I was really into theater. I was really into playing male roles when it came to friends and make believe sort of things. So I was really into the idea of becoming a man, even though now I understand that I am a man regardless. And my childhood just goes really back up to the point that when I first thought about gender, I was like, yeah, I want to be a boy, or like, this is my role model, and etc. And my first role model was Puss in Boots. So, I mean, I just thought he was cool. And it was specifically the Soviet cartoon. And I remember asking that I really wanted to be him for Halloween. Now I'm not so sure I want to prance naked in boots. Yeah, I think that's a bit too not safe for work. But regardless, it was a holiday, it was a Halloween costume I really, really wanted. And to be honest, it would have been really simple. It's just like a hat. I think he had like a musketeer sword or something. I think so. But the point was, I liked the sort of like twinky, cool, not messing with you vibe, and sort of very mischievous and everything like that. So when I see these discussions of like, are you femme, are you mask on gay forums and etc., and this is where I actually went because I'm just fed up with all the trans community fighting itself. And obviously, right now, thank God, the transphobia is getting a bit less stingy. So on one hand, I really do have to thank Gottmik, and on the other hand, I'm really sorry that obviously Gottmik supports right now, as far as I know, James Charles by posting a video when the allegations came up, and it was a year, Jesus Christ, a week before the allegations came out, and in general, he's been supporting James Charles, so I'm really not vibing on that. But at the same time, I do understand that Gottmik gives the representation we really needed. And selling Gottmik short of the fact that we are very now outspoken in gay spaces, and specifically in mainstream media, that we gay trans guys exist, is very, very important, and I'm forever grateful. But you know, you can hang out with the wrong crowd. So when it comes to such things, I know that like when people look at me and you know they see a ton of highlighter, nails, and etc., you can kind of think like I remember specifically in LGBT circles, I would get asked what are my pronouns, even though I was out as a trans guy. And specifically when it comes to regular life, when I'm not faced with different trans decisions, people do not see me as anything else other than a guy. Maybe it's the beard, maybe it's the presentation, maybe it's the talk, maybe it's the walk. I don't know. But it just goes into the whole idea of what is a man, you know? And in general, I've always hated the whole femme idea, and I have spoken about it numerously because I feel like saying that someone is femme just because they're doing traditionally female things which are traditionally female in our day and age in our society, that does not make someone femme. So I think we really need to stop labeling people femme or masc, because I don't know, I always felt very masc. And sometimes to even feel myself and to feel myself more male, I need to put on all this theatrical makeup. And theater was a massive influence to me back in the day when it came to my representation, my understanding of myself. So as I would slowly uncover my gender, my sexuality, and etc., the more I would get progressed in makeup. That's why makeup really goes hand in hand with me throughout all the years. And that's why I never dropped it. I'm never gonna drop it, most likely, because I love it so much. So yeah. But in general, I do have a lot of sort of hobbies where, like, I still really don't understand why there's barely any gay guys into football, soccer for Americans. Hi. And I really never understood that. I was always into football. I mean, I wasn't like very, very into football, but I still am way above the average guy when it comes to football. I still have teams I root for. I still, I'm very passionate, and to me, it's very weird because I feel like I'm not that passionate. Because obviously, once you go into like art soccer, you see people who can recite from the top of their heads, like, I don't know, top 15 Zlatan Ibrahimovic bicycle kicks from last year. I don't know, man. So yeah, and I'm more about the national teams rather than teams per se, but I still watch team games. So and like cups, the Europe Cup, the Champions League, stuff like that, Europa as well, depending where my team is landing. So yeah, I kind of never understood the whole idea that gay guys are not really into sports, and specifically like femme gay guys. Well, I'm gonna just say gay guys like me, but at the same time, I feel like I land somewhere like in the middle of those definitions because I have a lot of sort of hobbies. And in general, I kind of my music taste is all across the board, but I do not kind of like the more pop pop gay pop. Like, I'm not a Lady Gaga stan. I do not understand the appeal of Taylor Swift. I do not understand the appeal of, I don't know, who do we have these days? Man, Miley Cyrus is literally beyond me. And her cover of Head Like a Hole is something a bit annoying. I'm sorry if you hear snoring, that's literally my boyfriend snoring on the couch, so he judged me. Basically, so I wanted to say that you can have an array of sort of things, and you don't have to pigeonhole yourself as well. And that also comes to like positions, because I know that people sort of try to put like bottom, meaning acting like a woman during sex, therefore should act like a woman, and that's not the case always. I mean, acting like a woman is already very, very offensive, because unless someone identifies as such, or someone feels some alignment to that, you should never tell a gay guy that. Or like, who's the guy, who's the girl in their relationship. That's just stupid. Sorry. So I really never understood that. And it's literally just, comes to gay couples or under the gay umbrella. I mean, I'm still a gay guy, right? So it's still kind of the dynamics are very gay. But yeah, I was really always attracted to dudes. I mean, I've had attraction to non-binary people as well, but that's where it comes like a bit of an interesting field because uh, non-binary is more like queer or gay, and it really depends up to the couple to define that because there's not enough wording, there's not enough studies, there's not enough anything on that. So non-binary is a bit of a different story. And I'm really trying to think what other hobbies, but my music has never been very pop oriented. I always kind of liked weird stuff. I always enjoyed fan fiction as well. I always enjoyed reading. I always enjoyed writing. I always enjoyed a bunch of arts. And I feel like these days people just don't do that. People aren't interested in art at all, which kind of always confuses me to an extent. But and people seem to remember Valerie Solanas more than Andy Warhol these days. I feel like that. But that's a question of feminism versus actual gay guys or men in general. So I kind of wanted to clear up that it doesn't matter what you identify as on the gay guy sort of big world or whatever. But yeah, um, I've just been really anxious, really. So it's really hard for me to get videos out these days. And then when it came to makeup, it was really difficult for me to force myself to sit down, and then it kind of comes rolling. And also, I work out at the gym. I don't go specifically for a certain pair of exercise. I don't do abs. I don't do specific like squats or anything. Um, I've become rather sporty, which is weird. Obviously, due to COVID, there's not enough um, sportiness I would like to use, but that's what happens during this pandemic. So yeah, I really want to do this video longer, but my partner snoring is really distracting me. And I promise I'll do better. So yeah, thank you very much. And I hope James Charles goes to jail soon. Thank you.